Hello, my name is Jeff Maston, biologist for TotalGrow Lights, and I'll be providing an overview of TotalGrow's unparalleled photoperiodic lighting solution, the Pure Flowering 200 lamp. These lights provide the highest quality flowering control light spectrum of any photoperiodic light on the market. They cost less to implement, save more money on energy, and are built to last in the toughest greenhouse environments. Most greenhouse growers produce day-length or photoperiod sensitive crops, often without the proper natural photoperiod. For fast-flowering petunias, properly vegetated mums, and the highest-yielding strawberries, TotalGrow Pure Flowering lamps provide this crucial control of flowering affordably, effectively, and reliably. There are two primary resources through which we'll walk in this video, and then I'll cover some general and specific examples of how to effectively identify and approach sales opportunities. First up, we'll walk through the Pure Flowering 200 lamp brochure available to the public. This resource highlights the value of these lamps, establishes the basic science of photoperiodic lighting, and describes the typical installation layout. Simply put, pure flowering lamps are the most efficient and effective solution for photoperiodic lighting to control the timing of flowering. They cost less to implement, save more money on energy, and are built to last in the toughest greenhouse environments. To understand how this is accomplished, we need a basic understanding of how day-length perception occurs in plants. As obvious as this starting point may sound, the pure flowering lamps are the only light to truly use this as the starting point. All plants contain the photoreceptor phytochrome. Phytochrome's absorption is shown here along with a pure flowering lamp's output, which matches perfectly. Phytochrome primarily absorbs red light to become active. When active, it primarily absorbs far red light, which the human eye does not perceive well, to become inactive. Because sunlight has a relatively even balance of red and far red light, this even balance communicates to the plant that it's daytime. If a light provides these two light regions and does so with an even balance, even at a very low intensity of light, it will trigger a photoperiodic response in the plant. With a few hours of this light during the night, the plant will grow as if it's naturally a long day. Any long day plant, like petunias, rudbeckia, fuchsia, and verbena, will flower as soon as they are mature enough. When relying only on the sun, these plants will not receive a long day until March or April. Short day plants like mums will be driven by this light to stay vegetative to also control their season. The specifications for the pure flowering lamp are also shown here. A few quick notes to highlight. The bulb covers 200 square feet at only 16 watts. There is no other light available that requires less power per square foot. Typically, a photoperiodic light is used for about 500 hours per year. A 30,000-hour lifetime equates to 60 years of use before the light should be replaced. This is a permanent fix to photoperiodic lighting problems. Both the output and output efficiencies exceed all other photoperiodic LED bulbs. And an IP65 rating means this is dust-tight and waterproof against strong jets of water. No other photoperiodic LED bulb has either of these features to allow them to capitalize on the longevity potential of LEDs in the harsh environment of a greenhouse. Furthermore, these are made with metal housings, thick glass lenses, and silicone cushion around the edges to avoid degradation and damage in the greenhouse common with plastic competitor bulbs. The next section of this document describes how to utilize the pure flowering lamp. From a sales perspective, one of the most attractive aspects of working with this light is its simple guidelines in a typically complex horticultural lighting world. The Pure Flowering 200 lamp gets its name because it can replace 200 watts worth of incandescent lights, or their compact fluorescent equivalents, and it can cover 200 square feet per light bulb. That 200 square feet equates to 14 foot by 14 foot spacing as the default target. Outside of your 14 by 14 grid of light bulbs, the light level will remain high enough to safely utilize for another 5 feet. In other words, place the first light bulb 5 feet in from the grow area edge, and then begin 14 by 14 spacing. If these numbers don't add up to close to the greenhouse's actual dimensions, please don't hesitate to contact us for guidance. In general, it is okay to space the lights a few feet farther in one dimension if they're placed closer together in the other dimension and provided some extra height. The typical height target is about 8 to 10 feet from the plant canopy to the bottom of the light bulbs. Lower heights will require tighter light spacing to not result in dark areas between light bulbs. Higher heights will spread the light farther, which can waste it outside of the grow area unless the grid of lights is large enough to make this effect more negligible. Target a height of around 2/3 of the light spacing if working outside the typical 14 by 14 layout. We'll next take a deeper look at how the pure flowering lamp compares to other photoperiodic light options. Traditionally, incandescent light bulbs were the photoperiodic solution available. These have enough red and far red light and an even enough balance to be functional. However, they are very inefficient in creating light, short-lived, and fragile. They waste some of their light in unneeded light regions, and they produce more far red than is necessary, which promotes excess stretching. Finally, they're being phased out of production and are often not even available to purchase anyways. Compact fluorescents, or curlicues, provide efficiency improvements over incandescent light bulbs inside one's home. Unfortunately for growers, they produce very little red and far red light, so the photoperiodic effect is reduced or lost. They're also fragile, contain toxic mercury, and lack the efficiency and longevity of LEDs. High-pressure sodiums are similar to fluorescent lights in that they lack the critical red and far red regions and rely on mercury. The only way to make these work is by brute force of using high light levels. This results in significant inefficiencies and/or reduced overall effectiveness. It's also very important to note that all of these inefficient options are often cost prohibitive, first and foremost because of electrical infrastructure costs. They generally need 5 to 20 times more power, which translates to large expenses for wiring, breaker boxes, electricians, and so forth. The final competitors are other photoperiodic LEDs. There are very few, and only one active enough to justify addressing, and that's the Philips flowering lamp. This product has a spectrum that mimics an incandescent light bulb in LED form. That means it's functional, but it wastes light in unneeded regions while emitting more far red than needed, which causes extra stretching. Furthermore, it produces light at a lower efficiency than the TotalGrow solution, and it produces 37% less light. Combining these inefficiencies, the light only covers half the area of the TotalGrow light and requires 38% more power in the process. Furthermore, this is a plastic light bulb that's not waterproof. Ultimately, it costs more to buy, costs more to install the extra power, costs more to run, and will not work quite as well, and it will not last as long. The conclusion of this brochure is a summary of these features and benefits. In short, the Pure Flowering 200 lamp has the best available photoperiodic light spectrum, efficiency, reliability, and total cost of any product available. Now we'll more quickly go through a document specifically for you, the reseller. This will review the highlights of the standard brochure and provide more depth on product comparisons to drive home why this is the only product that your customer should be considering. Again, in a nutshell, the Pure Flowering lamp costs less to implement, saves more money on energy, and is uniquely built to last in a tough greenhouse environment. No other light has a spectrum so well tuned to the photoperiodic spectrum and photoperiodic response spectrum of plants. The only other lights to even have a spectrum that will generally be functional are incandescent light bulbs and photoperiodic LED lamps. Incandescent bulbs are easy to beat because they are so terribly inefficient, requiring more than 10 times the power and electrical infrastructure. While functional, over 40% of the light output falls outside of the main photoperiodic region, and the excessive far red can cause too much stretching. The other legacy lights, compact fluorescent curlicues, and high-pressure sodiums, including oscillating beam flickers, often have over 90% of their light output in the wrong spectral region, and therefore often simply do not work. If they do work, the amount of light needed to compensate for their spectral results is impractical upfront and ongoing costs. Furthermore, what a grower might perceive as working might only be a partial photoperiodic benefit. A test against the Pure Flowering lamp will show what a full photoperiodic benefit looks like. Every situation has a unique combination of electricity-related costs and usage amounts per year that will impact exact financial comparisons, but the table here shows the comparison at typical levels of usage, electrical infrastructure costs, and electricity rates. As you can see, there is absolutely no reason why a grower should be considering a legacy light. Given that conclusion, the remaining options are LED photoperiodic lights. The only serious competition, as mentioned before, for this business comes from Philips. However, this comparison is also an easy one because the TotalGrow solution costs less and works better. The table and bullet points on this page again show why this is true. The Pure Flowering lamp emits 60% more light and focuses that light much more tightly into the photoperiodically effective region, resulting in double coverage per light bulb. Since a Pure Flowering lamp costs less than double than a Philips lamp, the initial costs are less. These savings are multiplied when accounting for the reduced power costs from the 50% more square feet covered per watt input and reduced installation costs from less wires and sockets for less bulbs. TotalGrow even offers a custom socketed light cord designed around the Pure Flowering lamp installation pattern for the easiest and most cost-effective installation possible. A look and feel of the two lights will also reveal why no other light can compete with a Pure Flowering lamp. Instead of a plastic housing like cheap household can lights, the TotalGrow light is built with a rugged aluminum housing and thick glass lens, further protected by a silicone seal and cushion around the lens. Sealed tight from jets of water and dust, this light is built around the demands of a greenhouse. With LED technology capable of working for decades, it is only logical to avoid the plastic light bulbs from all other photoperiodic light bulb makers that can be damaged by water exposure and allow airborne particles into the light. The final notes on this document are a reminder of who most needs the lights. It's important to note that many growers will not actively think about photoperiodic lighting opportunities. But if you are on the lookout and ask a couple of targeted questions, you should find many excellent fits for this product. So first off, do you have or need any greenhouse lighting? And if they say no to this, still follow up with a question of, do you have any long day plants that you would like to be in color sooner? For example, dianthus, fuchsia, pansies, petunias, rudbeckia, snapdragons, tuberous begonias, verbena, campanula, coreopsis, purple fountain glass, sedum. These are just a few of the many that have a photoperiodic response to long days to flower sooner. Or do you grow mums that sometimes flower sooner than you'd like? So if this has revealed any opportunities, you should be ready for the main objections that might come up. First, I already have incandescent or compact fluorescent or high pressure sodium lights, and they're producing flowers. Why change? Well, we've covered this in depth already, but power savings, freeing up more power for other projects, and no concerns about poor light performance and lights burning out and ruining crops are the highlights of this. They might say that other lights cost less to install. The only situation in which pure flowering lamps are not the most cost-effective to install is with incandescent lights when electrical infrastructure costs are low. For example, when there is already sufficient power distribution throughout the entire facility. In any other case, the cost of lights plus fixtures plus the electrical work needed should be higher for any other light option. These electrical infrastructure costs are often overlooked but can be the biggest cost of an installation. Once the lights are up, the TotalGrow bulbs will cost the least by far. Another question is, will I be able to work under the Pure Flowering lamp's strong red color of light? So normally this is not an issue because the lights are only running from about 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. when workers are not present anyways. If it does become an issue, it costs very little to have a separate set of work lights around. Don't waste your money adding white light to your photoperiodic lights when their usage schedule is so different, and you can put that money towards a separately controlled set of lights. Finally, how do we know that these will actually work? Well, we've been producing exceptionally effective photoperiodic light bulbs for more than 4 years. Every single grower that has ever provided feedback has shared that they were fully effective at the expected flowering control, and often provided significant additional benefits beyond the baseline expectations, such as more flowers quicker than expected, the better plant pigmentation, straighter growth, more compact growth, and even drastically improved rooting of unrooted cuttings. The science behind these lights is extremely reliable, and many existing installations back up these claims. Also worth mentioning before we finish here are the usage schedule options for the lights. The two common ways to run the lights are day length extension, where the lights are run after sunset and or before sunrise to extend the period of light to about 14 hours, and night interruption, where the lights are run for about 4 hours in the middle of the night, typically 10 p.m. until 2 a.m., to wake the plants up. The plants are actually controlled by the length of the dark period, so breaking up the night keeps them from seeing a long dark period and responding as if the day were short. The one other strategy that a few growers are doing is boom lighting, where lights are mounted to irrigation booms and pass back and forth over a grow area during the night. This adds complexity and risks more boom maintenance, but it can extend the coverage per light bulb to as much as 800 square feet. At light bulb prices of only about $40 to $45 each, that makes it possible for growers to put a system in place that can provide this photoperiodic control for as low as 6 cents per square foot. That's tempting for them to install across a full facility so that they never have to worry about whether their plants are growing in an area with lights at the right time. Even without the boom trick, The lights are only about 20 cents per square foot, or less than $10,000 per acre, so growers can often err on the side of installing extra area instead of being stingy here. Finally, a clarification of what photoperiodic light is not. The other main type of horticultural greenhouse lighting is supplemental lighting. This is providing a high intensity of more full spectrum light to give plants energy to grow when the sun is insufficient. This is equivalent to giving the plants more food to grow bigger, faster, and stronger. Photoperiodic lighting is a much lower intensity of a specific light spectrum to trick the plant into growing a particular way, more like a flowering medication for the plant than a full meal. Thank you for taking the time to become equipped to capitalize on the opportunities created by this outstanding technology in partnership with your relationships with the folks who need it most. If you ever have any questions about the lights, a particular opportunity with a grower, or any other technical sales support, please do not hesitate to contact me personally at jeffm@ventus.com as shown on the cheat sheet. Thank you.